Hi everybody, welcome to May 28th, and this is Habit Hack number 68, and you are tuning in to this channel. There goes more fireworks. I never knew there were so many fireworks until poor little Tala came to my house. And Memorial Day, I get it, but it's already like Thursday. Come on, you guys, let's settle down on the fireworks for this poor little thing that's so afraid of fireworks. Anyway, I posted her on my travel second degree if you follow me there. So she's super cute and she's looking for a home. That's not part of the habit hack, but the habit hack today is about mental representation. So one of the things we're going to talk about today is how important it is to get a clear mental representation. I did talk about this a little bit in a previous habit hack, where you kind of have to have a vision and have, it's called a goal, but Erickson, who I talked about, who wrote Peak Performance, and then even before him in the 60s, Maxwell Maltz, I think his name was, he wrote Psycho-Cybernetics. Right, Steve? We love Psycho-Cybernetics. And he talks about clear visualization, and his whole thing, he was really the grandfather of visualization. And so mental representation is what it's called, or I should say, well, that's what Anders Ericsson calls it. And you want to have a clear mental representation of what it is that you want to accomplish. So if you're trying to create a habit, and for me, I'll give you an example. So when I was going through this and I was thinking about my Spanish and how I always say, I want to learn Spanish, but it's really not clear in my head of exactly what do I want to do with it. Like how advanced do I want to be? How proficient, I always think, on a very small term, I'd love to just be able to cruise around my neighborhood and be able to communicate to people comfortably. And I am getting to the point that I probably could do that, to the basic levels of greetings and ordering decent amount of food and with and without. And so I started thinking about what's my mental representation look like for Spanish. And I really want to be able to be pretty fluent. And so I started thinking about that in my head, like what would it take? How long is that going to take, and what kind of practice should I be changing up to become decently fluent? Now, in Anders Ericsson's information, what he talks about is when people are elite, it is so clear, they get it down to the most minute detail. Now, novices do not have the ability to get it down to the minutia of something. So I can just think of people that are experts at things and they're learning something new, an aspect of that new thing. When they really think about it, they can get it down to the smallest degree of what they want to get to, or the level that they want to have. He talks a lot about, or several people have talked about, sculptors. When they see a piece of rock, they don't see the rock, right? They see exactly what they're going to sculpt in that rock, and all we see is a big slab of marble. And so that's the habit hack today. Take a look at your habits. I think I was going to do it on driving through change, because that is a big, as people are starting to get kind of back to normal, people are going back to work, stores are slowly starting to open. And as life gets a lot more busy, you're going to have to drive through the change of getting more responsibility, more things that you're taking care of, and then less time to really focus on maybe your habit hack. And the way that you're going to move past that, driving through that change, is really having a clear mental picture. If you don't have the domain knowledge to create a fine-tuned picture of what exactly your end product or end goal or end habit's going to look like, then start taking 5 minutes to research what that should look like to be highly successful, and where is it that you want to go with it, and what do you want to accomplish with it, and what things are you going to need to start to learn or study or buy or rent or hire to get to that point in the time frame that you want to get it to. So that's the habit hack. Mental representation is really important when you're creating a habit, so that you know where to maneuver when you have to drive through change like this. So that's it. And I promised yesterday I was going to give 2 things because I was like panicked. I didn't prepare, and I was like, I'm not doing another video just so I can go find something. And on my book rack, I can't give those away because those are all the books that I want to keep. So today's 2 driving change. Now my friend Joyce gave me this book, and it's the UPS approach to business, and I was like, oh brother, really? But I loved it. It was partly because I lived through a lot of it, but can you imagine? I mean, this is a company that started before the Great Depression, before they lived through 2 world wars. I mean, it is such an amazing story of how a company can drive through change and continue to adapt, continue to be relevant. I mean, how many of you out there have seen your UPS or FedEx driver more than you've seen any of your friends this COVID quarantine time, right? I'm sure that a lot of you. All right, that's book number 1. So if you would like, especially you UPSers who haven't read it, I know you have it on your on your shelf. Just read it. It is interesting. I liked it. The second one is Howard White wrote this, or Howard H. White, and the foreword is by Phil Knight, and it's called Believe to Achieve. And again, it's in that same vein, believe to achieve. Have a clear vision of what it is that you are trying to accomplish. Have a mental picture. That mental picture you should be visiting every single day. Every single day before you practice your habit, think of the mental picture of what you're trying to accomplish, because some days are going to be harder than others. Some days are going to be easy and you're going to not want to stop practicing. And some days you're just like, I just want to check it off and go to bed. So mental picture is going to be important anytime you're going to do a long-term habit. So great that it is the 29th. Wait, 28th? 29th? 28th. I don't even know. Somebody tell me, please. All right. Have a great night, you guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow.